Top three, I'm not number one. How could you post that? I would have crowned the city is mine. You cannot hold that. I'm not the one to go at. Meet Joe Black.
We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. Tonight, we wrap up the first 13 weeks of the season with a good Monday nighter between the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's Will Lutz ready to get this one started. And off we go from Tampa. First play, first pass for Brady. That's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And some room to work. A big play there on the first play of the game. 73 yards. And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy is made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
Bernard is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal. Brady now to throw. A pass underneath for Fournette. Touchdown! Leonard Fournette, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. Extra point up and good by Succa. And that makes the score 7-0. It's Ryan Suckup on after the touchdown to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Well, these two teams, they met in New Orleans earlier in the year with the Saints coming out on top. So if they can win here in Tampa, they'd be able to claim the season sweep. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Jameis to throw it. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The coverage unit out there thinking pass on 3rd and 3. Now Brady. His throw caught right around the 6. And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Tom Brady with 2 first-quarter touchdown passes. And the Bucs are off to a 13-0 first-quarter lead.
The full team is involved in this game early, aren't they? Go down the field, score on offense, take the ball away on defense, and go right back and score again. You got to like the way that's working for them.
That's exactly right. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, 2-score lead. A little bit like you at breakfast this morning. I got to get this in. You had a perfect omelet, dropped it. It's a little bit of a turnover. You went right back though and got that omelet and crushed it.
You got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do.
A little worried about your hands, though.
Yeah.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. Sideline. I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, New Orleans. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3. Because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence
to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
Throwing is Brady on third down. He finds his target. It's Evans. And he's going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. The Buccaneers had 3 and 8 on the year, and they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
David Onyemata there on the tackle.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Brady. And his throw here's incomplete.
Right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. To throw is Brady. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Next receivers, they'll spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 22-yard line. Up the gut, Fournette. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Brady. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Inside handoff now to Fournette. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. The ball on the 8. Still could get a first down technically. 2nd and 7. Here's Brady. He's got it.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is that right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. Fournette again. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Buccaneers have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point put through by Succop. And it's now 21-7. Now it's Ryan Succop on after the touchdown to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner, they can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Winston. Now he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked by Antoine Winfield Jr. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. That bumps us up to a 3-possession game here, and only in the 2nd quarter, Charles. They're trying to put this game out of reach before we even hit the locker rooms for intermission.
What's even tougher is making up 3 possessions against a defense that can make impact plays like this. They don't have this game wrapped up quite yet, but 2 picks already, 1 to the house. I think it's fair to say they're headed in the right direction.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Shaquille Barrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. First down, Winston. And going deep for Hill. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
The offense schemed, going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Winston. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 27 yards there, a first down.
Well, they showed a 5-receiver set, had the backfield empty, and lined the running back out to the left. Plenty for the quarterback to process both pre- and post-snap, but he was able to find his man, and it turns into a big play.
Winston's throw complete there to St. Brown. And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Jameis again. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. We hear them discuss red zone efficiency a lot, CD, and they almost gave that one up in the red zone. Luckily, they'll have another shot.
And you and I both know that every offensive coordinator, play caller in the league, they take particular delight in their red zone calls because those are the payoff ones. But you can't call a play if your team doesn't have the ball. Got to secure it.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Amon-Ra St. Brown. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints are able to cut into that deficit. Lutz with the extra point, and that cuts the lead to 28-14. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. And they've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
Meanwhile, Brady's throw here into the hands of Jones. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 41. He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Winston now. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Well, they'll use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
Winston now to throw on first down. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Everson Griffin. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes. As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. On 1st and 10, Winston. And this is caught. Touchdown, New Orleans. Taysom Hill. 36 yards. And the Saints get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Lutz good on the extra point. And they're within 7 now at 28-21. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Looking deep for Julio. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And that'll be caught. It's St. Brown. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. And he he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Oh, that's good decision-making right there. Understood down in distance. Knew it wasn't third down, and he still had another opportunity to earn the first down. Good job throwing it away and avoiding an interception.
Final play of the half here, Winston. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando. It's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far.
He's got a man, complete. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big, big gain.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back.
And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
To throw again on second down. Winston. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 15-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because...
And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Amon-Ra St. Brown with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year.
And the Saints are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
Lutz with the extra point, and we are all tied at 28. So all square here in this third quarter as the kick's away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. After that last touchdown we just saw, Charles, we got ourselves a brand-new ball game, all tied here in the third as they have their first possession of this second half.
And, Brandon, this drive is all about one word to me, and that's the word answer, because they're trying to answer the momentum the other offense picked up in tying the game, because not only if they score and they feel better about themselves, they'll retake the lead and maybe set the tone for the rest of the half, keeping them in the driver's seat.
They keep it with Fournette on first down. And some room to maneuver.
72 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
They'll run it again with Fournette. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now he'll throw with Brady. And Brady going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Well, they were in a great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks about the same thing each week, don't they, Brandon? They want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst a punt. This time they had that opportunity but didn't get it because you know the field shrinks that close to the end zone, and that allows the defense to tighten up their coverage, and they picked that one off.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. On 2nd and 7, Winston. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Play action now, Winston. He's got a man, complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Give him 32 on the play. Off the play fake, Winston. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game, and he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 40. That'll put him up over 160 yards receiving now for the game. They can't seem to stop it. On play action, Winston. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked by Antoine Winfield Jr. And the Bucs are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. That is now 7 interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout. Bring in the guys that scout games for you with a different eye and watch him and see what's going on, and maybe they can pick up what the flaws are, and hopefully they can correct them.
And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. 112 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Again, it's Fournette. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Brady now to throw. He completes it to Evans. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. Brady going to go on 4th down. Crossing route, and he hits his man. It's Jones. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Julio Jones, 31 yards. And the Buccaneers have broken our tie and have taken a 4th quarter lead. Extra point try now for Succop. It's up and good, and they've jumped back ahead, 35-28. Now it's Ryan Succop on after the touchdown to kick it away. And no return from Bowden. This will come out to the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw it for a loss.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
130 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Brady's throw there complete. Trucks over him. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Fournette running out of the gun. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On 2nd and 9, Brady. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are right back in this football game.
A seismic shift in momentum here in the fourth quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. With that last completion, CD's now over 400 yards passing in the game. And quite a few of those have come via some pretty big strikes downfield. Certainly not afraid to challenge this secondary, and it's been successful.
I like your observation there, partner, because I agree. This is a group.
Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. Look at the big fella go. Inside the 20. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on first and goal. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
That's good power football on first and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
Second and goal from inside the 5. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara from 4 yards out. And the Saints are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. In a close game like this, Charles, those interceptions like they had on the last drive could be costly, but here they've got another opportunity to seize control of this game.
And they better take advantage of it because otherwise, if they end up losing by 1 score, they'll relive this over and over and over until they have another opportunity to wipe it away.
A handoff to Fournette. Demario Davis there on the stop.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. A shotgun give to Fournette. 148 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
Partner, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
Here's a give to Fournette. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now Leonard Fournette. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage, it'll be back at the 36. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. And off the crossbar, and it kicks back out. Needed maybe a foot or two, but it's no good as it stands. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They need to get this around the 40 to have a chance to win it in regulation. From the 40, it's a 57-yard field goal, so that gives you a gauge.
And all they're trying to do now is pick up yardage in good chunks and get out of bounds to stop the clock. If they end up running a play and get tackled in bounds, they're worried the clock may run out on them and finish the game.
And they'll have to be careful how they handle this. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Winston. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away as we just saw there.
Winston to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jamel Dean. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game. And that carry probably not so much for yardage, just to get the spot that you want to kick the field goal.
In any yardage game, there's really kind of gravy, and this just becomes what my old coach used to say. Get into position to be in position. And that's what they want, the right spot for their kicker to line up the field goal.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Brady to throw. And this is going to be caught. He got it. It's a touchdown. Forget overtime. They're going to win the football game right now.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears, they get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
Now it's Ryan Succop on after the touchdown to kick it away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And solid field position here to start as they get this out to the 40-yard line.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum.
And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And the Buccaneers are going to hang on the final play. They get the turnover to seal this football game. Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. And in this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So for Tampa Bay, the playoffs may be out of reach, but the win gets them to 4-8 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Saints, it's a loss that could have implications on the